Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back. This is our family support group. We're going to be sharing some information tonight dealing with, first of all, let me give you the title of tonight's discussion. 7 common addiction recovery challenges, right? 7 common addiction challenges, plural, right? So this article is brought to us by extramilesrecovery.com. All right. So we're going to go get right into it. And so the first topic of discussion I'd like to talk about, and that is developing new coping strategies. Getting sober isn't just about not using drugs and alcohol anymore. It's also about establishing a new lifestyle, supporting recovery and preventing relapse. All right. A major part of this process is developing new coping strategies to manage stress and deal with anxiety and cravings. Right. And so a lot of times, I know when I got started my recovery journey, my whole focus was try to uh, learn how to not drink and use drugs. And so I didn't really understand that there was other factors that I must consider and I must learn about more about me. And so there was a whole, as this article talks about, stress, anxiety, craving, triggers, urges. Uh, I learned a whole lot about anger management, things of that nature, and behaviors. So I had to really focus on a lot of stuff, relationships. So the list goes on and on and on, because as you begin to grow and develop and learn about the addiction itself, you learn also how to equip yourself with uh, combative skills or coping skills to when things do arrive, not to be so quickly to resort back to old behaviors or habits, right? And so this article goes on to say, in rehab, as you learn to develop these coping strategies, you are establishing a new sense of normalcy, all right, or normalcy, all right? This is both challenging and time consuming, but well worth the effort. Our counselors and therapists will work with you, all right, daily to identify harmful behaviors. After identifying them, you then learn how to modify them so you can thrive in society, right? So that was one of the key things that I caught on, being able to identify uh, what was the things that was uh, putting me in bad situation that I would relapse, putting me in bad situation where I will respond inappropriately. And so once I begin to learn and identify certain uh, triggers, uh, I began to learn how, as this article says, uh, modify them, all right? Identify behaviors and learn how to modify them so I can thrive and sustain my sobriety. Let's move on a little bit because I don't want to get too much about my experience, but I just want to share what I learned through the process, because a lot of times um, that is probably is not shared. We may talk about the lifestyle, um, bad behaviors, bad events, bad episodes, but going through rehab and treatment, what are some of the tools and some of the things that I learned that is, I feel is very important to share, because a lot of times I may have learned something, the next person may have learned something as well, but we may have a different perspective. And perspective and perceiving things is very uh, important. A lot of times when I noticed when I was on drugs, it, my using my alternate substances, um, which distorts a lot of our thinking, or distorted my thinking process, I began to veer off into bad perception. It's not me, it's the other person. And so I would take the focus or shift the blame off from me until someone else, until I be learned to learn how to take responsibility. All right. And so the next topic of discussion is addressing trauma and shame without drugs and alcohol. Many recovering addicts use drugs and alcohol as a crutch to deal with trauma and shame. This is something else we need to focus on. During drug rehab, people in recovery are challenged to deal with trauma and shame without the aid of these addictive substances, which can be some of the most difficult addiction recovery challenges. It requires a lot of effort, time, and bravery to confront these issues head on and address the deep seated issues that have contributed to your addiction. And working with counselors and therapists and rehab, you'll have many opportunities to do this. And as a result, you'll experience rewarding personal growth, right? And so that's something that uh, most people who never been to treatment, never been to rehab, never received any counseling, may not be aware that they may be suffering from some type of trauma. And so by that, oftentimes I know me who suffer from trauma, not just once, but several occasions, whether it was directly or indirectly, when you think about it, those are deep wounds that need to be uh, healed, and that need to be done through, as the article says, through a counselor, through therapy, therapist, professional people. And it's something not to be afraid to deal with, because those things will hold our success in recovery if we begin to abandon or not deal with the situation head on, or sweep it under the rug, or just not to uh, face the reality that, hey, I may have experienced something growing up as a child, and may experience something growing up in my adolescent age, experience something even as adults. People go through trauma, may have experienced things or witnessed some things that may have affected us one way or the other. And so a lot of times, if we don't deal with it and we don't question it and say to ourselves, am I being affected by what I witnessed or experienced? And if so, I need to deal with it, right? Don't try to deal with it alone. As the article says, seek professional help. All right. The next topic of discussion, addressing trauma and shame. Oh no, that's the same one. Uh, did I write the same? Building. Oh, there we go. Building new relationships and repairing old ones. All right. According to SAMHSA, having relationships and social networks that provide love, support, friendship, and hope is an essential part of a life in recovery and rehab. You'll be challenged to build new relationships with your peers in recovery, right? You'll learn how to communicate healthily, trust others, and be vulnerable, right? While working the 12 steps, you'll also be asked to make amends with loved ones you hurt while you were actively abusing drugs and alcohol. Remember, this is a family recovery support room. So if you have hurted the loved ones or a loved one has hurted you, we need to sit down and discuss it in a healthy way, not screaming, yelling, and name calling. All right. And so this is the time when, as the article says, building new relationships and repairing old ones. All right. And so that's very key. The amendment process can take weeks, months, or years, and it's never easy. Right? Let me read that again. The amendment, right? We make an amends. The amend process can take weeks, months, or years, and it's never easy. However, it plays an important role in freeing you from your old life of addiction and embracing long-term addiction recovery. All right. So for me, I know that process was something that I had to learn and really uh, prove myself. And so once I was able to prove myself, I believe the healing process uh, is worth going through, uh, confronting a lot of old hurt, all right, a lot of old shame, a lot of old guilt. And so once I began to rebuild my character, my thinking process, people began to see me in a different light because now I have given them the best of me. Because no, I'm no longer under the influence of alcohol. I'm no longer under the influence of drugs. So now they get to see the uh, the natural side of me, the uh, humanistic side of me, as opposed to the other version, which uh, no longer need to be revisited because this is the new person. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's go on. Let's keep moving forward. The next one, we want to talk about boredom. During your treatment program, you'll likely follow a structured daily schedule of support group meetings, all right? Exercise, meals, personal reflection, and leisure time. After you complete rehab and return home, you may find yourself dealing with boredom. This is one of the most common addiction recovery challenges and can be a big threat to your sobriety. Previously, all of your free time was most likely spent using drugs and alcohol. Now, without those things in your life, you'll need to learn how to use your time in other ways. These things may include meditating, right? Reading, playing sports, working, or taking up a new hobby, enrolling in a sober living program after completing your drug rehab. All right? Program can be great. It can also provide a structure that will help you create a new lifestyle and recovery. It can help fill your free time with group activities, volunteer work, job hunting, and other essential life activities. All right. And so don't allow yourself to sit around and have a whole bunch of fleeting thoughts going on, and whereas you may feel as this is an old saying that we used to say while I was incarcerated: don't allow the wall to close in on you. Basically, that is just as this article says: read a book, journal, exercise, eat good meals, surround yourself with good people, right? Listen to some nice music that does not give you a whole bunch of fleeting thoughts that will distract you into bad activities. All right. And so, good afternoon, Raekwon.
Hi,
All right. Are you on the passenger side or are you driving?
I'm on the passenger side.
All right. All right. Good, good, good. And so, we don't want you to get in no accident. So that's why I asked you that question. So,
Okay.
welcome to the meeting. We're on. We're talking about 7 common addiction recovery challenges. All right, and so there's a host of them. This is not the all or be all of some of the challenges, but there are uh, 7 of them that we're covering. And so far we went over, I believe, 4 of them. In the first one, we talked about developing new coping strategies. Then we talked about addressing trauma and shame without drugs and alcohol, right? And then we just went over building new relationships and repairing old ones. And we just got through talking about boredom and how boredom can be a big setback if we allow ourselves to not stay focused and be active in some healthy behaviors and habits. And so we're going to go to the 5th one, and that is relapse. All right. And so, relapse, let's talk about relapse and what that entails. This article says relapse prevention is one of the biggest challenges in recovery from addiction many people face both during and after rehab. Cravings, stress, anxiety, and old acquaintances can all be potential threats when you're trying to stay sober, right? Fortunately, drug and alcohol rehab is designed to help you with this. It helps establish life skills, modify unhealthy behaviors, and develop a peer support system that will keep you firmly rooted in your sobriety. Even if you do have a relapse during or after rehab, you'll be able to learn on your support system. You can be able to lean on your support system of peers and mentors who will help you get back on track quickly. I am somebody who's in recovery and I relapsed quite a few times. And I must admit, I thought I was strong when I first started trying to get into recovery. I tried to do it on my own and I fell. All right. And but I wanted to succeed so bad. And so I went into a program, a drug treatment program. And that aspect helped me a great deal. I don't think I'll be sitting here before this camera or the audience sharing this information or be employed where I'm employed at now if I was continue the path of using drugs and alcohol. I'm just be honest, all right? And so this lifestyle right here is a better lifestyle for me and my loved ones. And so I want the best for all those who may be struggling or those who are in recovery because there is, you know, there is life, there is a such thing as called recovery. People do recover. And so I'm a living example of that people recovery. All right. This article says even if you do have a relapse during or after rehab, you'll be able to lean on your support system or peers and mentors who will help you get back on track quickly. No one is perfect. Let me say that again. No one is perfect. And sometimes it just takes time. You won't fail if you don't give up. All right. And so I hope that is some encouraging news. And so, number 6, we're talking about, all right, finding your purpose. After drug and alcohol rehab, many people find that they lack purpose in life. Adapting to a life that doesn't revolve around drugs and alcohol abuse can be one of the most difficult addiction recovery challenges, right? And so I'll just share with you this is how I used to think. Uh, I used to say, and I still say it to this day, it's easy for me to go back to old behaviors as opposed to learning new behaviors, because I know uh, all the ins and outs of the old behaviors because I've done it before. I lived the lifestyle. I know that is really not too much to it. But learning something new and challenging a new lifestyle, now that takes time and effort. And so I said to myself, I want to challenge myself. I want to push myself. I don't want to just take the easy road or the easy route. I want to work through the process. All right. And so it says, no pain, no gain. So let's take it on. Let's go further. It says one way that drug and alcohol rehab helps recovering addicts combat this issue is by introducing them to new hobbies and interests such as yoga, art, music, and meditation. These are all different aspects of behavioral therapy at that one can try. This helps clients find and develop new hobby, interests, and social groups, both using during and after rehab. And lastly, but not least, Raekwona, we're going to be
Yes.
talking. Oh no, I was just calling using your name because I see you on the screen. I was saying the last part of this article is we're going to be talking about transitioning out of rehab and back
Mhm.
home. I know you're not in rehab or anything like that, but this is for the audience who have um, been in rehab, who have relapsed, who may be struggling with behaviors
Mhm.
and how to get back on track with their loved ones. So that's why I'm sharing this information because a lot of times we run into little hiccups. They call it situational relapse. We might run into people confronting us the wrong way, and we might respond the wrong way. And so these are some of the things that we can learn during our recovery journey, not to respond inappropriately or the wrong way. So this one says, making the transition from a life of addiction into an independent life of sobriety after rehab isn't easy for recovering addicts, all right? Such as myself. It wasn't an easy process. After you leave the safety net of a rehab center, you'll be awarded more personal freedoms. All right. However, you also need to manage more responsibilities at home. Right. If you have a family, if you have children, if you have a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, uh, siblings, parents, these things we have to be more mindful of. Find a job is number one. That's key as well. Fulfilling financial obligation. That's another one. Put your new coping strategies into action. All right. And much more. For many people in recovery, this transition can be extremely challenging and it may be tempting to give up and use it again. So uh, I hope that you are doing well. Raekwon, hello, hello.
Yes. I didn't
You
even
know
hear you.
you're live, right?
Huh?
You know you live, right?
Yeah.
I hope your friends don't see you like, oh, she putting on lip gloss, makeup. Yeah, but hopefully that you're doing well and that the family is doing well. And
Yes, we are.
you are okay then.
Yes.
And so I don't know, was you able to do the shop right thing yet? The shop right trip?
Yeah, I had went, which day was? It was one day last week I had went.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad all is well then. All right then, when you get a chance, give me a call sometime this week so that you and I can go over a few things.
Okay.
All right.
Happy birthday. Okay, well I call you. I call you. I can call you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. All right. What time you think you'll be able to give me a call?
I can give you a call in the morning when I put my kids on the bus, school bus.
All right, that'll be great. All right.
All right.
All right. Take care of yourself.
You too.
All right. Bye. All right. So that's it for us this week. I hope this information on 7 common addiction recovery challenges uh, is useful, impactful, and transformative because this information uh, can help. Not only it helps me, but it can help others as well. Because a lot of times we may run into things and we may need the coping skill or the coping tools. All right. And so let's go revisit briefly some of the 7 topics we just discussed. And that first one was developing new coping strategies, right? That's number one. Number two, addressing trauma and shame without drugs and alcohol. Number three, we discussed building new relationships and repairing old ones. All right. Number four, we talked about boredom. All right. A lot of times, coming out of rehab, if we're not active, we're not making ourselves useful. Um, Boredom can sit in. We begin to stress and anxiety, and a lot of times we need to get amongst those who are our peers in recovery so that we can lean on each other during the process. And you'll be surprised, especially if you need a support network, right? A group of people who are connected to resources that you can lean on and inquire about. And once people see that you are making a conscious and assertive effort, they are more likely to assist you in your recovery journey. All right. And so number four was boredom. Then we talked about relapse. All right. We went over that. Uh, no one is perfect. Remember, no one is perfect. We all may have a hiccup here and there, but the goal is to get back on track as soon as possible. And number six, we talked about finding your purpose. All right. Finding your purpose. And number seven, transitioning out of rehab and back home to our loved ones. All right. And so the program or the process work if we don't give up. All right. It really, really works if we don't give up, but we have to be willing to do the work. All right. And so that's it for now. My name is Craig. Until the next time, please take care of yourself. If you know somebody who needs help, whether it's addiction of drugs or mental health issues, please contact the professionals and allow them to assist you in that process of recovery or stabilization. All right. Until next time, take care. My name is Craig. So long.